Welcome back to the channel. This is No Luck Trucking. I'm Matt, and we're back to trucking, so we can use this channel, the trucking channel. So, you know, if you watched the last video, you know we took some time off. It was good. We took from like the 3rd or 4th up until yesterday. Yesterday we picked up a load and we ran it in today and delivered. Just didn't feel like starting to film just yet, so we're gonna start back on a talking video, you know, kind of like what we've been up to and stuff. So we got back home a little early. We just didn't feel like waiting around for the last load to take us home. So we had 4th of July. We cooked salmon, ribs, and a chuck roast on the smoker for the 4th of July. Super traditional, I know. And then we kind of got the car ready. We took it down on that Monday to Richmond, Virginia. It's about a 2-hour drive. We stayed Sunday night kind of down the street from it, and then rolled over to the Dyno place on Monday. And that took about, I think we were out of there before noon. We rolled in around 8. They didn't get our car on there until like 9:30, something like that, but it was all good. The car made a lot more power than we expected and what it should. So superchargers are kind of limited by the pulleys that the belt goes around, and that's how you increase or decrease the power. So it's kind of like locked in. It's not really something that is variable. Like a turbo, kind of, you can overboost, you know, if it's cold. There's a lot of things that affect it. You can get more boost out of it, whereas supercharger is kind of locked in to the power that it's going to make. So we were expecting somewhere around 7 or 8 pounds of boost. Should have been around 500 wheel horsepower. That's what we were shooting for. That's what we built the car around. So the guy does a lot of tuning. Then he goes to make the first pull and makes like 503 right off the rip. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. Either this guy is like the most amazing tuner and like got it to its final power on the first run, or we're about to make a whole lot more sauce than what we expected. So he does more tuning, goes for another run, makes 560. At that point, I'm starting to get a little worried because fuel system, it's a completely stock motor other than the supercharger and some supporting mods. So I'm kind of getting a little concerned, but there's really nothing that we can do because I can't tell him to like turn down the boost or anything because we don't have any other pulleys to like drop the PSI. Because we were under the impression it was going to make 7 or 8. It's perfect. We would never have to touch it. And I didn't have a boost gauge because superchargers make what they make and that's it. So we don't need to monitor it all the time. We just need to know what it was making the first time and that's it. So he makes several other power pulls and we ended up at, the highest one was 598, but the actual dyno sheet, once he cleaned it up and smoothed it out, it was 593 and it made 13 pounds of boost. So almost double what we were expecting. Some of it is because of the we have stock exhaust manifolds and stock cats, so boost was a little bit higher. It leveled at 11 and then kind of went up towards the red line. So car made a lot more power than we thought. It is an absolute blast to drive. It's so much fun. It rips the tires apart if you wanted to, or it drives like a stock car when you just are kind of cruising around. We had the AC on, the radio, we were having a normal conversation. It's not overly loud, has perfect street manners. It was great. And then we drove down to my dad's, saw him, got a birthday dinner because my birthday was somewhere in that first week that we were off. And then we spent the next few days putting on an EFI solution for my dad's 72 Chevelle with a 454 big block. So we took the carb and the distributor off, put electronic fuel injection on. That took a lot longer than we thought. We were kind of expecting 1-2 days, whatever, and then we'd be driving it, and I was tuning it. But let's see, we started on Tuesday. Wednesday we finished it. We drove it for the first time. It was good. We got to the house, it was dying. So Thursday, Friday, we were troubleshooting it. Turns out the spark plug wires had touched the headers, and it was arcing electricity, and the Holly computer is really sensitive to radio frequency interference. So the spark plug wires that were arcing were scrambling the system on the computer. So we finally fixed that. We drove it around for a while. Both of those videos, so the Dyno video and the EFI video, are going to be on our other channel, No Luck Garage. I already have the Dyno up on the channel, and I'm working on editing the Chevelle stuff. That should be in the next day or so. And then also, while we were on home time, we got a text from an agent offering us a dedicated run. So as you guys know, we really haven't searched or been apt for like a dedicated run, because everything just kind of lined up really well. But the rate's really good. It's very efficient time wise. Leaves from Baltimore, goes to Kentucky, goes back to Baltimore. And that's about all we can really discuss with it. Part of the thing is we can't really, well, obviously we can't film, we can't discuss the loads or anything like that. Can't even discuss who it is. But it is a round trip, and it fires off once a week. So we need to find some other loads in between that are consistent. That would be really awesome, actually knowing what we're going to make for the week, and have a loop. But right now we're just working on filling in the blanks ourselves. We did find the load that we ran. It was actually a JB Hunt load today that we ran, picked up yesterday, delivered at Costco this morning. Then had a mini panic attack or heart attack at Costco. When I was opening the doors, I set the lock with my key still in it on the tailgate of the trailer, and then I forgot about it. So when I backed in, lock went bye-bye, and I didn't realize it until we were leaving, and I was going to take the placards off, and I felt in my pocket and was like, key's not in there. Maybe I left the lock in the truck. It was not. So Liz thankfully tracked down somebody inside, because they don't let you in the building at all, and they were able to find it. It had fallen in the dock plate, basically, or the locking mechanism for the dock plate. So we were able to get that. Thankfully we didn't leave the premises and then realize it, but ultimately we have spare keys for the truck, and we can always get another lock. But it's good to not have to deal with that. It's a good feeling to have the keys back in my pocket. So that's kind of what happens when you mess up your routine, because I always have a routine of what I do, but something interrupted that routine this morning, and mistakes were made. But we are kind of rusty, just getting back on the road. So we went down to Rafine the night before, and then I drove us to the pickup. Liz drove us back to the house, because we had to stop by and get some things that we left at the house from packing up the truck. So luckily we were able to stop on 81 and get those, which is good. We don't always go back by the house. Sometimes we forget things and either live without or immediately make a Walmart trip if it's an important item. So we were able to do that. Costco didn't hold us too long. Actually, they gave us the green light 15 minutes before our appointment time. We showed up about an hour and a half early. So that went fantastic. I was expecting a little bit of a wait. So then we got as close as we can to our next pickup, which is tomorrow morning. That's going to be a pickup in the morning and deliver by the evening, kind of straight through shot. And then we have a FedEx load, Greensboro to Houston after that. So we have a bunch of loads kind of booked out, and then we have a load getting us back over to the East Coast, and then we need to get it gets us pretty close to the dedicated stuff. So it's going well so far. We had a blast on the vacation. It's just everything took a little bit longer than we thought it was going to, so we didn't have a whole lot of time to relax. Putting the EFI on my dad's car just went from a 2-day adventure to a 5-day adventure, but he was a gracious host and let us stay there, so we didn't have to get a hotel or anything. We were even there so long that Liz had to do some laundry because we were kind of like running out of clean clothes. We didn't pack to be there for a whole week, but thankfully we got it done because my dad knows carburetors and distributors, and we kind of flipped his world upside down with the electronic fuel injection. So I didn't want to leave him with a car that wasn't running. I felt really bad that drove the car in, we tore it down, and it was just having, so at first it was just like cutting off, and I had to like restart the ECU altogether. And that's because a plug wire was literally touching the header and had completely burned through. So I found that, and we replaced that, and then we decided to get brand new plug wires. And as we were taking the other ones off, there was about 2 or 3 of them that were burnt, so they were arcing but not burnt all the way through, so they were still firing, just enough to scramble the signal. But we got that all fixed, took it around a bunch of times, as much as we could before we were leaving. We had to get back and get the truck packed. So we had a different load than the one that we ran yesterday and today, but that one canceled on us again, and that was VAM also, I believe. Yeah, it was FedEx, wasn't it? Yeah.
They appear to have lost that entire lane.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a big shakeup happening where like entire lanes are getting lost, but they are getting new business as well. So they're not as dependable as we thought they were at one point, but these other avenues are popping up, and it's awesome that people are reaching out to us and offering that to us. It's not something that we really were after, but I think it's a good move for us, because at least having that, it's really good revenue, and it is a round trip, so it's not like we have to like find loads back, to the starting point or anything like that. But we just need to kind of fill in the blanks so that we have a nice efficient week, that makes us a good amount of money. But we're gonna figure that part out as we go. They basically gave us that run as long as we want it, and if we need to take time off, we just let them know ahead of time, and they don't have a problem covering it for a week or two while we're off the truck. But I think we're gonna try to stay out and run until September, October time, right? Maybe a weekend off or a few days off or something like that. But yeah, since the dyno with the GTO, we did order new pulleys, so we dropped the PSI, the boost amount, and I'm building our own boost gauge when we get back. I ordered all the parts. They're coming from China. It's a whole bunch of like little circuit boards. I'm gonna put my soldering skills and wiring skills to the test, and we'll make a homemade boost gauge, a digital boost gauge. Should be cool. And it's gonna hide away, since like I said, we don't really need it all the time. We just need it, here and there. When it gets cold, it might pick up a little bit of power, but we're trying to drop the power so that the stock motor survives. They don't like a ton of power with no cam. Bottom end could probably take it, but the cylinder pressures are really high with no cam, no headers, things like that. So we're trying to keep it safe so it keeps it alive. It was a blast though. Had a ton of fun. I don't know if I put it in the video or not, but there is a glass enclosure for the dyno, and then they had about 10 recliners right outside, so you could just sit there and watch, and the computer screen mirrored what the guy in the dyno was seeing on the computer, with power output and all the parameters that it was monitoring. So it was super cool. Awesome place, awesome. But it is on the higher end of expensive shops, so we probably won't be going back there unless we need a retune for something. But thankfully it's all good. So man, there's a fly in here still, so we can lower the power, and it's perfectly fine. If we ever want to jump back up to that same pulley, we could, but we were kind of pushing the fuel system. We were almost maxed out. So but the guy said it was safe and it was happy. Well, he didn't say safe, he said it was happy. So no knocking, fuel was good, AFR was good, timing was good. just, if we do back-to-back pulls, it's probably going to split the pistons apart, but we haven't really been able to. Anyways, like once you start getting on it, you're breaking the speed limit very, very quickly, so it's not like you can like just sit on it for a long time anyways, unless you're at the track. So. But yeah, stay tuned for the Chevelle video on the other channel if you want to check out the dyno stuff. That is on No Luck Garage. And also, we still have the No Luck Trucking shirts on sale, $20 shipped. That is on nolucktrucking.com. Check them out. It's a cool design. I like it. Our friend Sozo designed it. He's also helping us out with the website, and he does the shipping. He is the one-man army behind the scenes, and we appreciate him. I think we're gonna end the video here. We're gonna start filming like normal on the next video. That one's gonna be like an overnight run, kind of straight through deal. No, that's pick up in the morning, deliver in the evening. The following one is the run through the night. But we're gonna pick up regular filming. We'll get back in the groove and get a video out, a normal video, not just a talking video. So thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.